Says it has 19% more bases than it needs. Wouldn't it be efficient to close some of those? The 750 bases in 80 countries we have around the world, we need every one. No place to fire up the old chainsaw there. The Air Force has 51 golf courses. The Marines have 10. Guam has 2. Nothing? No vroom vroom for that? An internal watchdog once found Boeing marked up the price of a helicopter by 177,000%. Not 177%, 177,000%. That is almost as bad as my mechanic. You know, I don't know what the Army does before 9 a.m., but it's not reading receipts. Come on, you're Elon Musk. The first cuts were easy, but playtime is over. Pick on someone your own size. And I don't just mean the Pentagon. If you look up bloated bureaucracy in the dictionary, it's a picture of the Department of Homeland Security, a Frankenstein monster born in the panic after 9/11 when we took 22 separate government agencies and merged them into one enormous bureaucracy around one common goal, to make sure that my container of lube doesn't exceed 3.4 ounces. So far, Doge has cut 50 million out of its $170 billion budget. You know, every other part of government has to tighten its belt. How about the part that makes me take mine off at the airport?
Thank you very much.
It's been over 20 years of this bullshit. We started doing it before there was smartphones and AI. I'm guessing there's a better way to keep us safe than everybody undressing in public. No one thinks you need your picture taken to fly from Tulsa to Spokane. It's not 9/11 anymore. It's 2025, and I'm not afraid of hijackers. I'm afraid of the plane.
And the worst part is I can't stand this little motherfucker. Always laying around my house, eating up my food, starting fights with my wife, talking shit about me in my own head. He sucks. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I finally get a call from the state of Tennessee one day. They're being very helpful. They're like, is there anything we can do to help? Like, are there any assets you can liquidate? I was like, what? And they're like, is there any shit you could sell? I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, well, there's the house I grew up in where my Meemaw still lives. And they're like, that's perfect. So what you do is you sell that house, use the proceeds to pay us off, do with the rest as you see fit. And it all kind of clicked for me in that moment. And I was like, so you're telling me that I need to sell the house I grew up in where my Mima still lives so I can pay y'all my own child support? And she was like, can we call you back? And I got a call a couple hours later from her manager, and he was like, yeah, listen, don't worry about that. We wiped all that out. We took care of it. And that's the first time in my life that I was like, damn, maybe I am white. I've had to reckon with something recently. That's nothing new for me. I come from a reckoning people. I love to reckon. But I had to reckon with something in particular. I may have been unfair to a certain class of people, you know, over the years, because I've made a lot of fun of like conspiracy theorists. I could be dumb enough to believe some shit like that. It might be a little hypocritical of me because it turns out I'm really into all this alien shit that's been going on. We're living in a golden age of alien shit, y'all. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, congratulations on your stable life and working brain and all that. That's good. Happy for you. But it's a golden age of alien stuff, and I didn't realize there was anything remotely problematic or weird about that. I'd be on Twitter looking for alien shit. I started noticing whenever I saw somebody sharing alien stuff, I clicked that guy's profile. His bio would be like, husband, father, patriot, the earth is flat, release the crack and the truth shall set you free. And I was like, well, that's weird. I don't know why it can't be reputable journalistic sources for my alien news. I don't know why it's always some fringe lunatic. That's odd. Right? I didn't put it together for an embarrassingly long time. I remember when it finally clicked for me. I was on Twitter looking for alien stuff. I saw this guy going on a big, long video tirade about alien shit, and I was so into it. He was like, yeah, the government don't want the common man to know the truth about this shit. And I was like, that's right, brother, they don't. Keep going. He was like, just like they don't want you to know the truth about the global cabal of vampiric pedophiles harvesting adrenochrome from the blood of the innocent. And I was like, well... I don't think that's exactly the same thing. Because, see, that is clearly some made-up bullshit that no rational adult would ever believe to be true. And this is, oh, no. I'm a fucking wingnut. Right? I don't know why I'm so into alien stuff. I think maybe it's a redneck thing. There is some weird chemistry. There's some weird connection with rednecks and aliens. There always has been. If you think about anybody you've ever seen on the news talking about getting abducted and probed, like it's never a heart surgeon, you know. It's always my Uncle Bubbles, man. Every time it's always Randy Quaid from Independence Day. Every time, that's who it is. They only take rednecks, evidently. I mean, really, rednecks should hate these motherfuckers because they've been profiling us like the police profile black dudes for generations. They have goddamn smart-ass alien walks up like, do you know why I abducted you this evening? I don't know, maybe because I'm driving a beat-up Chevy with an Earnhardt sticker. It's fucking bullshit, man. Third time this month, god damn. But it's okay. I try to find the silver lining in everything, and I tell you what that says to me. That says to me that rednecks evidently have among the sweetest, most choice anuses you can find anywhere. Anywhere. Think about it. Think if these little gray bastards could be probing any backside on God's green earth, nay, the cosmos. But they keep coming back for that hillbilly brown eye. What's that tell you? That's brand loyalty, man. There's got to be a reason for that. I'm just saying. So yeah, next time somebody's like, oh, black guys, all they got big dicks. Yeah, well, rednecks got the juiciest buttholes in the Milky Way. What now? My mama love that joke. That was Meemaw's favorite joke. Now, but I don't know. It's like maybe it's where I grew up, you know. Maybe it's a rural thing specifically, you know, because it does have a big impact on you growing up in the middle of nowhere. Like, dude, I grew up in rural America in the 90s, and from what I can tell, that's kind of like growing up in regular America in the 70s, you know. Like, Like I hear people who grew up in the 70s talk about it, and they're like, oh, our parents didn't care. We rode on the hood of the car. Like our favorite hobbies are trying to kill each other with darts in the yard and diving into rock quarries and shit. And I'm like, I mean, we had Nickelodeon, but other than that, yeah, same thing. Same thing. Like, the rural parents in the 90s didn't give a fuck, dude. I mean, look, they loved us and all that, but looking back, it feels like our safety was not of paramount concern to them, you know? And it wasn't ignorance either. Like in the preceding generations, there were all these things that were dangerous to kids that parents had not found out about yet. You know, stuff like lead in paint, asbestos in the walls, pedophiles in church. They didn't know, right? Like they didn't know. Parents didn't know. But by the 90s, our parents had all that information and they were still just like, man, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Supervise them all the time? Ain't nobody got time for that. Now get them into the bed of the truck before I'm too drunk to drive them to the fair. They didn't give a fuck, man. I think all the time about me and my little sister. We were in the summertime, we'd stay with our grandma in the projects, and every morning at 9 a.m. we'd leave and just be gone all day. No cell phones, no checking in, just gone until the sun went down, right? And it's like, it's not that she was unaware of any potential dangers to us. I know because she would follow us onto the porch and yell after me, Trey, you watch out for your little sister. There's a lot of crazy people in this world. Somebody will snatch her ass up. Right? And I'm just yelling back like, I'm 9, but okay. Like, the fuck was I supposed to do about it? They couldn't snatch me up too? I'm kind of offended in retrospect. Since my grandma was saying, yeah, they don't want your little fat ass, but her, they'll take her. And if they take her, we're all gonna be real upset. So you better keep your head on a swivel, right? Her was, she lived in an 800 square foot apartment. She smoked 2 packs of Marlboro Reds a day, never opened a door, never cracked a window. I was like, well, hey, you gonna pay her light bill? Yeah, that's why. Keep the goddamn door closed, all right? Like, yeah, so it was like a 1920s bookie operation in there. It was just a constant haze of cowboy killer smoke hovering, I'd say roughly, I don't know, child's forehead high. So we're just making little chemtrails run through her apartment all day, right? Everybody was totally fine with that. You know, it's like, what were our options? We could either stay inside and be speed running emphysema and watching Ricky Lake, or go outside and end up in a van roulette, you know? You gotta pick your poison. And I never thought twice about any of that until I had my own kids. Now I'm mortified thinking about that. Like, dude, if my 11-year-old was headed out the door with his brother and I was like, hey, where you going,